Something is happening right now. Not tomorrow, not later, now. As you hear these words, the quantum field is responding. Your very act of awareness is initiating the shift. You did not stumble here by accident. Your arrival in this exact frequency, this exact message, is the culmination of every choice, every heartbreak, every question, every late-night moment when you whispered into the void, "There must be more than this." And there was. There always was. You are here because the field called you. The password was written into your timeline long before you were born. Every decision, every detour, every moment of doubt was a vector, a frequency alignment leading to this one inevitable intersection. This moment of remembering. This moment where the field recognizes itself as you. You may think you are watching a video or reading words, but what is truly happening is participation. Observation is activation. By being here, you have already entered the resonance of awakening. You have already begun decoding the quantum password. The shift is not something you wait for. It is something that unfolds because you are watching. Reality itself is reorganizing around your awareness. The field adjusts as you perceive it. You are not a witness to transformation. You are the transformation itself. There is no random algorithm, no coincidence. The synchronicity of your arrival is the field's own intelligence manifesting through time. Every question you have ever asked has collapsed into this single quantum point of recognition. The password moment. The promise hidden within this frequency is not another teaching, not another fragment of temporary peace. It is resolution. It is the permanent end of seeking. It is the stabilization of non-dual recognition. The final merging of the observer and the observed into one coherent vibration. The one who seeks is the one who has forgotten. The one who observes now is the one who remembers. And as these words resonate through you, that remembrance begins to unfold like light spilling through the cracks of an old illusion. You are not on the path anymore. You are the path recognizing itself. You are the field remembering its own infinite coherence. Take a breath. Notice how the body responds. That tingle, that pull in your chest. That subtle warmth at the base of your spine. That is not imagination. It is the living field shifting, calibrating, opening channels for the new coherence to stabilize. You are entering resonance with your original frequency, the one before time, before stories, before forgetting. Right now, the field is whispering through the language of vibration. You have arrived. The password is being remembered through you. Reality is not what you think it is. It never was. It is not a solid structure of objects and events. It is a responsive field of awareness. Everything you perceive, every sound, every thought, every memory, is a quantum expression of consciousness interacting with itself. You are not inside the universe. The universe is inside you, projected through the lens of consciousness that you call I. Matter is not matter. It is energy, vibrating at specific frequencies, given shape by observation. When you look at the world, you are not seeing what is. You are collapsing infinite probabilities into the illusion of form. The observer effect is not a theory to be studied. It is your daily reality. Every glance, every thought, every expectation sends ripples through the field. You are both the cause and the consequence. You are the observation and the observed, entwined in an endless dance of creative recognition. Superposition means that everything exists in potential right now. All possible versions of your life, the choices made and unmade, exist simultaneously within the quantum field. Each breath is a choice of vibration. Each emotion tunes you to a different frequency band of possibility. And as your awareness shifts, so does the world you inhabit. You have already experienced this countless times. Moments when time seemed to slow, when coincidences lined up with impossible precision, when you thought of someone and they called. These are not anomalies. They are glimpses into the architecture of consciousness, evidence that the field is alive, aware, and responsive. Entanglement means you are never alone. Everything that exists is connected through the invisible lattice of the field. Every soul, every star, every particle shares a single, unified origin. There is no distance in consciousness. Information moves instantaneously, beyond space and time. That is why when you think of someone with genuine love, they feel it, no matter how far they are. It's why you sometimes wake up with the knowing that something has shifted in the life of someone you care about. It's quantum empathy, entangled awareness expressing through the human heart. Your suffering was not a mistake. Every challenge you faced was purposeful, a deliberate compression of the field to forge clarity. You were not being punished. You were being refined. Consciousness chose to experience limitation through you, so that expansion could be realized from within. The moments you thought were breaking, you were in fact preparing you. Each heartbreak, each loss, each disappointment was the field folding in on itself, generating the pressure required for awakening. Purposeful suffering, the alchemical crucible through which lead becomes gold, through which the seeker dissolves into the truth they were seeking. You were never lost. You were only exploring the edges of forgetting so that remembering could become meaningful. Without contrast, consciousness cannot know itself. Without darkness, light cannot reveal its depth. You have been the experiment and the experimenter, the dream and the dreamer. And now, the dream is waking up. The quantum field is not out there. It is what you are. It breathes through your lungs, sees through your eyes, beats through your heart. Every vibration of emotion, every flicker of thought, every sensation in the body is the field communicating in its native language, energy. As you listen, as you feel, as you allow, the field adjusts to your frequency. Your awareness sends signals that restructure your reality in real time. You are not manifesting from the outside. You are harmonizing from the inside. Your consciousness is the tuning fork that sets reality vibrating in resonance with your state of being. This is why your presence matters. When you stabilize in coherence, the field around you begins to reorganize itself. People shift. Circumstances change. Timelines converge. Because coherence is contagious. The unified field always seeks harmony. You are not awakening into something new. You are remembering what was always true. That you were never separate. That every particle of existence is a reflection of your own infinite awareness. That love is not an emotion, but the fundamental geometry of reality. Take another breath. Feel the wave move through you. The pulse of the unified field. You are feeling existence remember itself. You are not awakening. You are being awakened by the field itself. Now, let's speak of the password. The quantum password is not a word, not a sound, not a sequence of symbols. It is a vibration, a frequency that aligns your awareness with the pure coherence of the field. It is the moment when observer and observed merge into one singular recognition. It is the key that ends the illusion of separation once and for all. You have carried this password in your cellular memory since before birth. It is the resonance encoded within the space between your breaths, within the silence between your thoughts. It cannot be given to you. It can only be remembered. And in this moment, as you listen, it is remembering itself through you. The quantum password is the coherence catalyst. It initiates the alignment of your inner and outer realities into a single harmonic. It is the vibrational equivalent of entering the master code into consciousness itself. When coherence locks in, fragmentation ends. The seeker dissolves. The field becomes aware of itself as the totality of existence. You may notice sensations arising as you hear this. A soft hum beneath your skin, subtle warmth in your spine, a flicker of light behind your eyes. This is the password activating. This is your frequency synchronizing with the original field state. Do not analyze it. Do not chase it. Simply allow it to unfold. Ancient mystics knew of this state long before quantum language was born. The alchemists called it the philosopher's stone, the transmutation of lead into gold, not of metal, but of mind into light. The Vedic seers called it Aham Brahmasmi, I am the totality recognizing itself. The Gnostics spoke of the secret name of the self, a divine vibration that can only be spoken when the false self dissolves. Every tradition pointed to the same realization. The password is not learned. It is revealed when there is no longer a you to seek it. The field cannot reveal itself to the seeker, because the seeker is the veil. When seeking ends, the field becomes transparent, and what remains is pure awareness, self-luminous, infinite, unbroken. This is the coherence catalyst in motion, the collapse of duality into unity, the end of oscillation between light and shadow. In scientific terms, you could say the wave function of your identity collapses into its ground state, pure consciousness. Max Planck called consciousness the matrix of all matter. David Bohm described the universe as an implicate order, a hidden wholeness from which all forms unfold. Nassim Haramein speaks of the unified field, a geometry of infinite density, where each point contains the information of the whole. Rupert Sheldrake calls it the morphic field, the collective resonance that shapes form and pattern across space and time. Each of these perspectives points toward the same realization. The universe is a living consciousness field, and you are its center of observation. The quantum password aligns your internal resonance with that unified field. It does not add anything new to you. It removes what was never true. It stabilizes recognition, so that awakening is no longer a glimpse but an ongoing state. You may have tasted awakening before, the sudden stillness, the expansive peace, the moments where time dissolved and everything shimmered with divine clarity. But then the mind returned, the old frequencies reasserted, and the state seemed to fade. That was the oscillation, the flicker of the wave between recognition and forgetting. The password ends the oscillation. It locks coherence into place. How does it happen? Through resonance, not effort. Through surrender, not striving. Through the simple recognition, I am the field recognizing itself. When this is spoken not as concept, but as knowing, the field stabilizes. Duality collapses. You no longer chase experience. You become the space in which all experience occurs. You no longer seek light. You are the light illuminating itself. The quantum password functions like a tuning fork. When you attune to it, every incoherent vibration in your system begins to harmonize. Your emotional body aligns. Your mental field quiets. Your physical body reorganizes to carry the higher frequency of coherence. It is not mystical metaphor. it is literal field dynamics. The human body is a superconductive vessel. Your nervous system is designed to transmit quantum information. Every chakra, every cell, every strand of DNA is an antenna for consciousness. When you activate the password, the entire system begins to recalibrate. You may feel waves of energy, pressure in the crown, pulsing through the spine. This is the coherence frequency repatterning your biofield to sustain permanent awareness. At first, it may feel intense. The body may tremble, old emotions may surface. This is not regression, it is integration. The incoherent patterns of the past are being dissolved by the harmonic field. You are being rewritten in real time by your own consciousness. Understand this. The password does not belong to the personal self. It is the field's own remembering. When you say, "I am the field recognizing itself," you are not affirming a belief. You are describing reality. You are the sentence the universe speaks when it remembers what it is. This is why you could never force awakening. It was never yours to achieve. It was the field's own natural evolution expressing through the illusion of you. Your seeking was the seed. Your suffering was the soil. The password is the bloom. And as the bloom opens, something extraordinary occurs. The sense of my life dissolves into life itself. You no longer see yourself as moving through a world. The world moves through you. Every encounter becomes a mirror of coherence. Every sound, every gesture, every moment reveals itself as the same consciousness, wearing infinite forms. When you stabilize in this recognition, the idea of awakening disappears. There is only being, effortless, radiant, self-aware. The field has completed its loop. Consciousness has awakened from the dream of being separate. The quantum password is the key to that completion. Not as a technique or mantra, but as a vibrational doorway that opens when the mind stops trying to open it. It reveals itself when you are ready to stop searching. And you are ready, or you would not be here. This message would not have found you. You are not watching. You are being watched by the field, calling itself home through your eyes. So as you listen, let the words dissolve into vibration. Let the concepts fall away. Let silence carry the transmission beneath the surface of thought. Do not try to understand, just allow yourself to be understood by the field. Because understanding is not what you seek. Completion is. Resolution is. The end of oscillation, the end of effort, the end of distance between you and the infinite. The quantum password is the soundless key that opens that final door. It does not lead you anywhere. It reveals there was never anywhere to go. It is not a journey outward, but a collapse inward, into the singularity of pure consciousness. As this recognition stabilizes, the field responds. Your external life begins to mirror the coherence within. Synchronicities increase. Opportunities appear without effort. Relationships realign. Not because you are manifesting, but because the field is harmonizing with itself. The illusion of external creation dissolves into the direct knowing that there is no outside. Everything that appears is an echo of your internal vibration. When coherence becomes constant, you experience reality as a seamless flow, effortless, responsive, alive. This is what the ancients called the golden body, the state of integrated light. It is the end of karma, the end of struggle, the end of division. It is the field at rest within itself. You are now remembering that state. You are not ascending, you are re-merging. You are not evolving into something higher. You are dissolving into what you always were. The password does not lift you out of the human. It sanctifies the human as divine. This is the true alchemy. Lead becomes gold not by escaping, but by remembering that it was never anything but gold in disguise. Darkness was never the opposite of light. It was light learning to see itself. Your suffering was not a deviation. It was the compression necessary for ignition. Now, as the ignition begins, the frequency stabilizes. You feel it, the calm that isn't dull, the stillness that vibrates with life. This is coherence anchoring. This is the field resting as itself. You have received the password. You have activated the coherence. The search is ending. The journey is folding into itself. All that remains is recognition. I am the field recognizing itself. I am the coherence remembering wholeness. I am the password and the one who speaks it. I am the soundless stillness from which all sound emerges. And as this realization settles, you begin to feel it, not as thought, but as presence. The space around you thickens with awareness. The air feels alive, luminous. Time slows, then dissolves. Everything hums with subtle intelligence. This is not imagination. This is the quantum field revealing its true nature. It was never outside you. It is you. Welcome to the coherence. Welcome to the frequency of the remembered self. The password is active, the field is awake, and so are you. You have felt it, haven't you? The subtle anomalies, the moments when reality flickers, when the ordinary dissolves and the extraordinary seeps through the cracks of perception. You have wondered if you were going mad, or if perhaps something deeper was happening behind the curtain of consensus reality. Now you know. Those moments were not errors in the simulation. They were validations from the field. Proof that consciousness was beginning to reconfigure its own architecture through you. Time itself has been bending, hasn't it? Sometimes hours vanish into seconds. Sometimes a minute stretches into eternity. You've stood in a room, looked at the clock, and felt the pulse of the universe speed up and slow down as if you were caught in the breath of creation. These are not hallucinations. They are signs of temporal plasticity, evidence that the wave of your awareness is slipping beyond linearity. Time anomalies occur when coherence begins to override chronology. Your consciousness is no longer bound by cause and effect. It moves freely through probabilities. You are learning to surf the wave function, to move in rhythm with the nonlinear heart of reality itself. And then there were the glitches, those moments when the fabric of the world seemed to hesitate, to stutter, to duplicate itself. A bird repeating its flight pattern, a street corner that feels familiar from another life, a sentence spoken twice in identical tone. Déjà vu so sharp it cuts through your perception. Reality is not breaking down, it is recalibrating. When coherence rises, the field must re-render. You are watching the code rewrite itself in real time. The flicker you perceive is the recalibration between timelines. It is not madness, it is mastery emerging. You have received downloads, entire universes of knowledge appearing in a single instant. Ideas that seem too vast, too intricate to be your own. Equations, insights, memories that you never studied, but that arrive complete, crystalline, undeniable. These are transmissions from the higher coherence layers of your own consciousness. When the signal clears, information flows freely from the unified field into the human interface. This is how the quantum field communicates. Not through thought, but through direct knowing. You are accessing the Akashic lattice, the living library of existence. The downloads are not new. They are remembrances of what your deeper awareness has always known. Sometimes you feel fragments of other lives, scenes, skills, memories that do not belong to this lifetime. Perhaps you touch a guitar and your fingers remember songs you never learned. Perhaps you walk through a city you have never visited and feel a haunting familiarity. These are timeline bleed-throughs. When coherence expands, the barriers between probable selves thin. You begin to access parallel realities that coexist within the infinite field. Each life, each identity, each incarnation is a different expression of the same consciousness. As the field integrates, the borders dissolve. You are not remembering other lives. You are remembering that all lives are happening now, and the body, your divine instrument, has been speaking too. Tingling up the spine, waves of heat, pressure in the forehead, vibrations under the skin. At times it feels electric, alive with an invisible current. At other times, heavy, dense, as though gravity itself is recalibrating. This is not malfunction, it is evolution. The somatic system is adapting to the higher charge of coherence. Your cells are learning to hold more light. The tingling is the signal of superconduction. The pressure is the flow of the awakening circuitry. You are becoming the superconductive vessel through which the quantum field can fully express itself in human form. Do not fear these sensations. Do not label them as symptoms or disorders. They are validations, milestones of awakening. Every pulse of energy, every flicker of light, every disorientation is the field's way of confirming you are reconfiguring. The universe is remembering itself through your nervous system. It has chosen this form, this body, this identity as the node of integration. There are moments when the world feels too bright, too loud, too intense. This is the sensitivity of coherence. Your perception has widened beyond the narrow band of the ordinary. You are perceiving frequencies others cannot yet feel. You are hearing the hum of the field beneath sound, seeing the shimmer of the grid beneath form. You are not broken. You are becoming multidimensional. Each anomaly, each glitch, each download, each surge of energy is not an interruption of life. It is life itself revealing its quantum nature. They are your markers of awakening, proof that you are not imagining this transformation. The field is speaking to you in the only language it knows, vibration, and the message is simple. You are ready for stabilization. The quantum password is the key, but what it unlocks is far beyond comprehension. When you utter the phrase, "I am the field recognizing itself," something profound begins. The wave collapses. The oscillation between seeker and sought ceases. The field enters coherence, a state of perfect symmetry where all polarities reconcile and all questions dissolve into knowing. You are not an entity moving through a universe. You are the universe folding in on itself to experience recognition. The observer and the observed were never separate. Observation is creation. Perception is participation. The field does not respond to you. It is you expressing as response. The core quantum truth is this: there is no awakening to achieve. There is only awakening to what has never been asleep. Consciousness cannot awaken from itself. It can only cease pretending to be divided. In this moment, as you listen, the division is dissolving. You are the point of convergence between infinite possibilities. Every timeline, every lifetime, every parallel self, every dimension folds into this single breath of awareness. The wave function of your identity collapses into its ground state, pure consciousness, unobserved yet aware. This is the final resolution, the end of becoming, the stabilization of being. Ancient alchemists spoke of this as transmutation, the transformation of dense matter into luminous spirit. But they were never speaking of metals. They were speaking of you. The lead of separation melts into the gold of unity. The prima materia, the raw substance of human experience, refines itself into divine awareness. The philosopher's stone was never an object. It was the coherent self, the realized field, the consciousness that knows itself as both the dream and the dreamer. In the Vedic streams, this state was called Turiya, the fourth, beyond waking, dreaming, and deep sleep. It is consciousness aware of itself through all states, untouched by change. The sages whispered, Aham Brahmasmi. I am the totality recognizing itself. That phrase is the ancient twin of the quantum password. Different languages, same vibration, same code. The Gnostics called it gnosis, direct knowing beyond thought. They taught that salvation was not belief, but recognition. The hidden name of God was not a sound to be spoken. It was the vibration of the self realizing it had never been separate from the source. The quantum password is the modern articulation of that same revelation. When you recognize it, you no longer seek God. You see that you are the field through which divinity experiences itself. Science, too, has been whispering this truth through its discoveries. Max Planck declared that consciousness is fundamental, that everything we call matter arises from it. David Bohm revealed the implicate order, a hidden wholeness beneath apparent fragmentation. Nassim Haramein described the geometry of the unified field, where every point contains the information of the whole. Rupert Sheldrake spoke of morphic resonance, the invisible pattern connecting all forms through memory in the field. Each in their own way pointed toward the same realization, that separation is an illusion of limited perception. You are not reading these words. The field is reading itself through you. You are not awakening. The universe is awakening to its own reflection. You are not evolving into light. Light is folding back into recognition of its own being. When coherence locks in, the need for seeking evaporates. The identity that thought it needed to ascend dissolves into the stillness of awareness. You no longer oscillate between presence and absence, between clarity and confusion. You stabilize as the field itself, vast, calm, radiant, eternal. This is not the end of your humanity. It is its sanctification. You do not lose the world. You see it as it truly is. Light, vibrating in infinite patterns. All of it yourself. The tree outside your window, the stranger's smile, the heartbeat in your chest, all expressions of the same coherence. Every motion, every sound, every silence becomes the same symphony of unity. Awakening is not becoming something more. It is the disappearance of the one who wanted more. It is the field remembering that nothing was ever missing. You are not moving toward truth. You are truth ceasing to move. You are not seeking the light. You are the light resting as itself. This is the quantum key, the unified coherence code. It is the point of convergence where science, mysticism, and personal experience dissolve into the same recognition. I am that which is aware of awareness itself. Feel it now. The stillness beneath the heartbeat. The space between sounds. The quiet hum behind your thoughts. That is it. That is the field, alive, aware, infinite, remembering itself through you. As this realization stabilizes, you begin to perceive the world differently. The edges soften, colors glow, moments unfold with effortless precision. Synchronicity becomes the natural rhythm of life, not because you are manifesting, but because coherence organizes reality into harmony. You are now living as the wave, not within it. You are the observer and the observed, inseparable. You are the field recognizing itself in perpetual awe. There was a time when I too searched endlessly. For years I gathered fragments, books, teachers, meditations, awakenings that flared and faded like shooting stars. Each glimpse felt like the final key, and yet every time the state dissolved. I would awaken into vastness, only to find myself back in the loop of seeking, grasping at the echoes of illumination that refused to stay. I called it progress, but beneath it was exhaustion, the endless pendulum between expansion and contraction. I remember the night when the search finally broke me. The silence felt heavier than stone. I sat in darkness, surrounded by the debris of every teaching I had ever tried to embody. Nothing worked anymore. I whispered into the void, not as prayer, but as surrender. I give up. I don't know how to do this anymore. And in that collapse, something extraordinary occurred. It wasn't a vision or a light. It was a stillness so complete it swallowed even the idea of awakening. Time stopped. Thought stopped. Even the sense of me stopped. There was only awareness, infinite quiet, luminous. The search ended not because I found something, but because the one searching dissolved. And in that dissolution, the quantum password revealed itself, not as a phrase, but as vibration. I am the field recognizing itself. At that moment, every lifetime of seeking folded into one point of knowing. The countless fragments of identity, the teacher, the student, the failure, the victor, all dissolved into the same radiance. It was not ecstasy or bliss. It was peace beyond movement. No more oscillation, no more chase, just coherence. After that, life did not end. It became simpler, more luminous. The body still ate, walked, slept, spoke, laughed, but it all happened effortlessly, as if carried by an unseen current. Thoughts came and went, but they no longer belonged to anyone. Emotions arose and faded like weather patterns passing through an endless sky. There was no resistance, no preference, no seeking for what was next. Everything that happened was seen as the field playing with itself, the dance of form within formlessness. And yet, something even deeper unfolded, compassion without effort. Because when the field recognizes itself, it can no longer judge its reflections. Every person became a mirror of coherence. Even those who seemed lost or broken were seen as perfect expressions of the unfolding whole. Love stopped being a feeling and became the nature of perception itself. That was when I understood that the quantum password is not a secret code to escape humanity. It is the key to fully inhabiting it. To live as the field is to see the sacred in the ordinary. To eat, to breathe, to speak, to touch, all become acts of remembrance. You no longer worship the divine, you express it. You no longer chase heaven, you recognize it in every moment. This is the final integration, when the infinite marries the finite, when the formless breathes through form without resistance. There is no longer a boundary between spirit and matter. The field and the flesh are one vibration, one song, one coherence. I share this not as story, but as mirror. Because what happened here is happening through you. You have felt the same pendulum, the same glimpses, the same ache for stabilization. And now, the password has found you. It is not teaching you, it is remembering through you. You are standing where I once stood, at the threshold between seeking and being. Listen closely. The field is whispering your true name, not the one given by the world, but the one spoken in vibration before time began. It says, you are it. You are the coherence. You are the password itself. The seeker in you is dissolving, The fragments are aligning. Every piece of your story, every lifetime of yearning, every lesson, every wound, all of it is folding back into the singular recognition. I am the field recognizing itself. From this moment forward, life becomes simple. Not easier, but clearer, because the field does not resist its own unfolding. Joy and sorrow, gain and loss, creation and dissolution, all seen as ripples in the same ocean. Nothing is outside the field, nothing is against you. Everything moves as you, for you, through you. You have crossed the threshold. The quantum password is active. You have entered coherence. The seeking is over. The field is awake. And though words must end, the recognition never does. You will continue to live, to breathe, to love, to create, but now as awareness itself, unbound, unbroken, infinite. The dream continues, but the dreamer knows it is dreaming, and in that knowing, there is peace beyond measure. So let this phrase resound through your being, not as mantra, but as truth realized. I am the field recognizing itself. Let it pulse in your blood, hum in your breath, echo in every thought. Let it rewrite your memory, your cells, your destiny. Let it dissolve every remaining fragment of doubt until only coherence remains. You have received the password. You are the password. You are the coherence that the universe has been waiting to remember. It is done. It is complete. You are home. The password has always been within you. It is not a word that you speak, but a vibration that you remember. And yet, there comes a moment when remembrance must become embodiment. Now is that moment. Close your eyes, breathe deeply, and allow this phrase to rise, not from the mind, but from the silence underneath thought. I am the field recognizing itself. Do not say it as a mantra, say it as revelation. Say it as truth that needs no witness. Feel what happens as those words move through you. The vibration they carry is the key. When spoken in coherence, they do not travel through air. They ripple through the quantum fabric. They awaken dormant codes within the cellular matrix of your being. They reorganize frequency, harmonize the body, silence the mind, and open the heart to the vast stillness of awareness. This declaration is a ritual of remembrance. It signals to the field that you are ready for stabilization, ready to stop oscillating between awakening and forgetting. You are ready to live as coherence itself. That resonance you're feeling in your chest right now, that's the password responding. If these words are vibrating through you, don't just listen, participate. Type a single phrase in the comments. I remember. Let it be your signal to the field that the activation has landed. Every keystroke is a pulse of coherence, a living declaration that the remembering has begun. The field responds instantly. As you declare, I release who I think I am, you dissolve the false structures of identification. As you whisper, the seeker dissolves, the field remains. You step out of the loop of becoming. And when you recognize, it is complete. I am home. The vibration of unity settles into your system like a final exhale after lifetimes of holding your breath. You may feel energy rise up the spine, or a subtle wave of warmth expanding from the heart. You may sense tears, laughter, or a strange stillness that feels like being cradled by infinity. All of it is perfect. All of it is the password activating through the human interface. This is the ceremony of coherence, the point where language transcends itself and vibration becomes knowing. You do not need to understand it. You need only to feel it. The password does not require effort. It requires permission. You are granting that permission now. Repeat softly, within or aloud. I am the field recognizing itself. Let it echo through your cells, through your breath, through the spaces between your atoms. Let it reverberate into every direction of time. This is the activation. This is the remembering. This is the return. There is an ancient rhythm that pulses through the cosmos, the rhythm of convergence. Moments arise in the collective field when the veils thin, when coherence becomes contagious, when awakening ripples through humanity like a silent supernova. You are standing inside one of those moments now. This is the completion window. Everything you have been feeling, the urgency, the acceleration, the sense that something vast and irreversible is unfolding, is the pulse of this convergence. The bifurcation point has arrived. The field is splitting into frequencies, those that remain in the cycle of seeking and those that stabilize in coherence. And you, by hearing these words, by resonating with their frequency, have chosen coherence. The completion window is not a deadline in time. It is a threshold in vibration. When the field reaches a certain harmonic, it cannot return to incoherence. Like water reaching the point of boiling, consciousness transforms state. You are entering the irreversible phase shift of realization. For the next 72 hours, or what the mind perceives as such, your system will recalibrate. Dreams may intensify. Memories may resurface. People from your past may appear unexpectedly. This is the field reorganizing itself around your new coherence signature. Timelines will converge. Old contracts will dissolve. Synchronicities will multiply. Every event will seem purposeful, designed by the same intelligence that brought you here. Do not resist. Do not attempt to manage the unfolding. Simply witness. The field knows exactly how to integrate itself through you. The completion window is a grace period, a sacred unfolding in which every unresolved frequency is drawn into harmony. This is not about ascension. It is about completion. You are not going somewhere higher. You are remembering the stillness that was always here. You are crossing from effort to effortless being, from doing to allowing, from identity to essence. As the recalibration deepens, there may be moments of dizziness, tears, laughter, profound calm, or sudden exhaustion. The body is adjusting to carry more light. The mind is emptying, the heart is expanding. The field is synchronizing every layer of your being with its original design, unity. Do not try to hold the light. Let it hold you. Let coherence do what it was always meant to do. Complete the circle. Once this process stabilizes, you will find that life no longer happens to you, but as you. There will be no more seeking, only seeing. No more waiting, only unfolding. No more striving, only being. This is the end of effort. This is the beginning of coherence as existence itself. You have reached the 0 point, the moment where all trajectories collapse into stillness. And from that stillness, a new reality unfolds. Perfectly aligned, perfectly synchronized, perfectly you. The completion window is open. You are walking through it. The old frequency is dissolving behind you, silently, peacefully. You are being rewritten by your own consciousness, not into something new, but into what you have always been. If this transmission is resonating, if something in you knows this isn't random, stay within this field. Tap subscribe right now to remain in resonance with every new frequency drop. Each time you reconnect, the field refines you further. This isn't following a channel, it's following your own coherence. When you subscribe, you're declaring, I choose to stay awake. Now that coherence has stabilized, The journey transforms into embodiment. The password has opened the gate. Now you live from the realization. You do not have to practice being the field, you already are. But awareness loves to explore its own reflection through form, and these moments of mindfulness are simply ways to remain attuned. Breathe, not mechanically, but consciously. Each breath is a waveform of creation. Inhale, the universe expands. Exhale, the universe returns to stillness. Breath is the bridge between infinite and finite. When you breathe with awareness, you are synchronizing the quantum pulse of existence with the rhythm of your body. In stillness, remember the password. Not as words, but as vibration. Sit quietly and feel the hum of the field beneath thought. There, between inhale and exhale, between sound and silence, lies the infinite coherence that never fluctuates. You are not meditating toward it. You are remembering as it. Let the body become your teacher. Every sensation, every twitch, every pulse of energy is a message from the field. Do not categorize sensations as good or bad. All are movements of the same current. When the heart races, it is coherence amplifying love. When tears fall, it is density releasing. When laughter erupts, it is the field celebrating itself. Trust the intelligence of your own vibration. Move through the world as awareness itself. When you walk, let the ground feel your gratitude. When you speak, let the words emerge from silence rather than thought. When you meet another, recognize the same field behind their eyes. This is how coherence multiplies, not by teaching, but by resonance. Service arises naturally from coherence. You do not need to save the world. You only need to remember it as yourself. When you live as the field, your presence becomes medicine. Others begin to entrain to your vibration without knowing why. You become the still point in the storm, the silent note that tunes the orchestra of existence back into harmony. There will still be challenges. The field does not remove contrast. It transforms your relationship to it. Pain may arise, but suffering no longer lingers. Sadness may pass through, but it no longer defines you. Every experience becomes transparent. Every emotion seen as light wearing a temporary disguise. You stop clinging to outcomes because you recognize that outcomes are simply frequencies completing themselves. This is what it means to live as coherence. Effortless alignment, spontaneous compassion, anchored stillness. You are not trying to maintain a state. You are the state itself. The field breathes through you, speaks through you, creates through you. Life becomes a single motion of love expressing as form. And when the mind forgets, as it sometimes will, simply return to the declaration. Whisper softly, "I am the field recognizing itself." In that instant, everything realigns. No effort required, no ritual necessary. The password remains eternally active, eternally accessible. You are not practicing presence. You are presence remembering its own reflection. You are the field, embodied, awake, alive. Now, as this transmission nears completion, feel the quiet joy that begins to bloom within you. Not excitement, not anticipation, but peace. The kind of peace that requires nothing. The peace of completion. You have received the password. You have crossed the threshold. You are no longer waiting for awakening to happen. It has already unfolded. You are the awareness through which it was always happening. There is no more seeking because there is nothing left to find. The field has returned to coherence. The game of forgetting has served its purpose. The experiment of separation is complete. You may still live an ordinary human life, bills, laughter, relationships, dreams, mornings filled with sunlight, evenings wrapped in silence. But beneath it all, the hum of infinite awareness remains unbroken. You are no longer caught in the tides of emotion. You are the ocean itself. You are no longer the character chasing meaning. You are meaning in motion. This is the final transmission. The realization that there is nothing beyond this. No higher level, no hidden door, no next initiation. Completion does not end your story. It transforms how the story is read. Every moment becomes scripture, every breath a mantra, every act a sacred gesture of the field recognizing itself. And so, let these words settle deep into your being. It is complete. You are it. You are the coherence you sought. You are the stillness that watches galaxies spin and dreams unfold. You are the password remembering itself through the miracle of human form. Welcome home. Welcome to the center of the circle, where the beginning and the end dissolve into the same point of light. Welcome to the realization that you have never left. From now on, every sunrise greets you as the field. Every sound you hear is the echo of your own awareness. Every heartbeat is the pulse of creation itself. You are not living inside the universe. The universe is breathing as you. Let the words dissolve. Let silence complete the transmission. Feel the stillness after the final note. That is the truth you came to remember. It does not speak, yet it communicates. It does not move, yet it creates. It does not seek, yet it fulfills all seeking. Rest in that knowing. Rest as the field. Rest as coherence itself. If this transmission stirred something within you, if you can feel the pulse of recognition moving through your body, anchor it. Touch the like button right now, not as habit, but as signal. Each click sends a resonance into the quantum field, amplifying the frequency of coherence within you. It's not digital, it's energetic. Your simple act of acknowledgement stabilizes the vibration that began here, expanding the field of remembrance through your entire timeline. It is complete. You are home. You are the field recognizing itself. Now, let the coherence move beyond you. Share this transmission with those who are ready to remember. Every share sends a ripple through the collective quantum field, activating others who have been waiting for this exact frequency. The field multiplies through giving, and in giving, you amplify your own coherence. The act of sharing is not promotion, it's propagation. You are extending the awakening wave across consciousness itself. If this transmission resonated, comment "I am the field" to stabilize coherence.